Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss the 8th topic of 12th biology, that is respiration and circulation. This topic is covering about 8 marks for the boards, and for entrances it maybe includes 6 or 7 questions for NEET and CET also. So let's move ahead to our topic, that is respiration and circulation. In previous syllabus these two topics are separated, but in new syllabus these two topics are get connected, linked, because these two systems are belonging to the thoracic cavity of human body. Human body is divided into 3 cavity. Upper one is the thoracic, middle one is abdominal, and lower one is pelvic. These two systems are belonging to the thoracic cavity. So first discuss about the respiration. What is respiration? The respiration is a simple process of breakdown of organic compound for liberation of 38 molecules of ATP. Why the respiration is important? For 38 molecules of ATP, whole reaction of respiration is occurs. The human body, every living organism on the earth requires energy for its single activity, or for that energy the ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate, is necessary. For that respiration process is carried out. So what is respiration is a biochemical process for oxidation of organic compound for liberation of energy. Energy here means adenosine triphosphate. Our human body requires energy in the form of triphosphate form, not in a diphosphate form. So here ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So the reaction of respiration is C6H12O6, that is glucose, plus O2 means oxygen. These two compounds get oxidized and gives CO2 plus H2O plus 38 molecules of ATP, which is our main objective of this respiration process is ATP. So respiration includes 3 major steps, that is inspiration, expiration, and exchange of gases. So for exchange of gases, the organs are occupied. These organs are organs of respiratory exchange. So for every living organism, these organs are varied. So according to the organism, the organs may be different. So the table of respiratory gas exchange organ I will be provided in a description box below. So now discuss the gaseous exchange in plants. As we know, respiration system is a system of living things. So going to discuss gaseous exchange in plants. There are two things in a living thing, that is plants and animals. So first discuss the gaseous exchange in plant. Gaseous exchange means what? The oxygen and carbon dioxide get exchanged from the body to environment to the body. In plants there are varieties of plants, aquatic plant, terrestrial plants. So for that there are some organs that is for only the exchange of gases. Every plant has different organ for its exchange of gases. So in terrestrial plants, terrestrial means those plants are on a land. So these plants have organs, main organs of respiratory exchange of gases, that is stomata. We are learning stomata since from 5th standard to up to the 11th. In 11th we have also learn the cycles which includes the stomata. So the stomata in terrestrial plant, the stomata is major organ of gases exchange, and in aerated soil plants, the root tissues. Root tissues are the organ which is responsible for exchange of gases. In aerated soil plants, the oxygen dissolves in H2O and then it enters in the plant with the help of root tissues. And in woody flowering plants, impervious bark is the organ of gaseous exchange, and there is one also main organs for plant or for a stem of a plant, that is lenticels. If you Google out the images of lenticels and impervious bark, you will get to know what is the exact impervious bark and lenticels. While studying, if you have learned some image, then you recall it fast than if you have learned some lines. So while studying, just Google it out the images what you are studying. So for exam you should be recall it easily. So let's discuss whatever we have studied from start, that is respiration. Respiration is biochemical process. What is biochemical? That is, bio means living and chemical means its reaction. The reaction which happens in living thing, that is biochemical. So respiration is a biochemical process for oxidation of organic compound for liberation of energy, that is our ATP. And this is reaction of respiration, that is C6H12O6, that is glucose oxidized to give 38 molecules of ATP. Organs of respiratory exchange are different for different living things, and gaseous exchange in plants, that is three main keys of answer writing of gaseous exchange of plant, that is in terrestrial plant there is stomata, in aerated soil plant there is root tissue, and in woody flowering plant there is impervious bark. While you are writing the answer of the question from any topic, you should write down first, recall the key points, then you should elaborate it in a point, then it will give you marks with a diagram. While writing answer of biology, if you are not recalling theory, it may be okay, but if you have mentioned the diagram, then examiner. In woody flowering plant there is impervious bark. While answer writing, you should first recall the key points and then you should elaborate it. So it will be easy for you for answer writing, and it will be impressive for the examiner to check your answer copy. While writing the answer in biology, your diagram, your handwriting and your paper presentation is three important key for your answer writing and for impress the examiner to give you full marks. If you want to cover full marks in biology, first of all, practice all the diagrams which you are given in your state board's textbook. Preparation for biology, you should thoroughly go with the textbook which you have provided. Each and every word of a textbook is equally important for your boards, and for entrances you maybe go through any other notes. So we have discussed the gaseous exchange in plants. So now the next topic of respiration is respiration in animal. We have learned the respiration in plants. If you have got a question for respiration in plants, it may be for 2.5 or 3 marks according to the paper pattern. So in respiration of plant, you have to remember 4 key points. That is, respiration in plant is done by diffusion. That is first point. Second point is stomata. Third point is impervious bark. Fourth is root tissue, and last one is lenticels. for 3 or 2.5 marks. These, if you elaborate these 4 points in plant respiration, you will get full marks over it. So remember these 5 key points while answer writing. Now let's discuss the respiration in animals. The 2 main points of respiration in animals on which it depends is complexity of organization and surrounding medium. While respiration, we are also in animals. If we are respire, it depends upon the surrounding we are living. If it is a home, if it is outside, if you are working, your respiration rate is varies. So respiration in animal, it depends upon the complexity of organization and surrounding medium. So for every animal on a land, the organs are different for respiration. So I will mention the table of organs and animals in the video. You should get screenshot of it. Now our next topic is human respiratory system. That is main topic of this lesson. Human respiratory system. Human respiratory system has 3 main key points. That is inspiration, expiration and exchange of gases. In plants we have learned the exchange of gases, but that is for plants. In humans there is different organ for exchange of gases and for inspiration and expiration. When we find the word respiration, so first 2 words that we recall is inspiration and expiration. There is another word for it, that is inhalation and exhalation. So this is a starting point of respiration and this is a ending point of respiration. So for studying human respiratory system, this is the human respiratory system with its organs, and I will provide you the description of it. So human respiratory system has 2 organs, 2 main organs, in which it includes some other sub-organs, that is upper respiratory system and lower respiratory system. Upper respiratory system is start from nostril to the pharynx, means above the pharynx, not complete pharynx. This is upper respiratory system, which includes nostril, mouth, nasal cavity and some portion of a pharynx, that is upper respiratory system. And from below the pharynx to the alveolus, bronchi, this is all the lower respiratory system. So step by step we will discuss all human respiratory system with respect to the organs. First is nose. So our first part of human respiratory system is nose. Nose is not what you see from your eyes. It is something more inside it. That is, it includes nostril, nasal cavity, and nose has divided into 3 parts, that is vestibule, respiratory part and olfactory chamber. So what is nose? Nose includes 2 slit like opening, and these 2 slits are separated by mesenteroid cartilage. The cartilage which is present between 2 slits is mesenteroid cartilage. Remember that word while you are writing the answer of nose. So nose is divided into 3 parts, that is vestibule, respiratory part and olfactory chamber. So vestibule is filter of a nose. It has hair from which the air which is entering in human body is filtrated, and then the air is passed to the respiratory part, which moistens the air to enter in the human body, and then the air passes through the olfactory chamber where the sensory nerves are present, which gives sense of a smell. That is, olfactory chamber has sense of a smell. So while answer writing of a nose first include two slit-like opening, then includes mesenteroid cartilage, then you should write that 3 points, that is vestibule, respiratory part and olfactory chamber. So next part of human respiratory system is pharynx, that is this portion called pharynx. So pharynx is divided into 3 parts, that is nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. You may be pronounced as you like. Nasopharynx, its uppermost part, which includes this portion of pharynx at which the nose section gate ends and pharynx gets started. This portion is nasopharynx. Another part is oropharynx, that is middle portion, which provides common passage for passing of food and air. This is a part of pharynx through which the air and food passes. This is common passage. This is starting point, this is middle portion which provides passage for food and air, and laryngopharynx, it is a last part of pharynx, and after that this trachea gets started, that is laryngopharynx, it is end part of pharynx and starting point of trachea. So between nasopharynx and oropharynx the palate bone is present. So while writing the answer you should mention the palate bone present between nasopharynx and oropharynx, and after laryngopharynx there is tonsils which is present in the pharynx section. So while writing the answer of pharynx you should mention the diagram at which the pharynx is present, then you should mention the 3 points of pharynx and their description. Our next part of human respiratory system is larynx, which is this portion. I have mentioned it in big form. This is larynx, starting from epiglottis or hyoid bone to the trachea. This is larynx. So larynx, which we maybe call larynx as a voice box of humans. That is, voice is generated in the larynx with the help of vocal cord. Then hyoid bone, which is present here, and trachea, which is started from here to the esophagus. This portion from hyoid bone to trachea, it completely called as larynx. While writing the answer of larynx, first mention that is it is voice box of humans. It includes vocal cord which generated the voice and modulation of voice. Further, it done by the tongue, teeth and lips also. This is modulation of voice. Then larynx started from hyoid bone to trachea. For entrances, it may be asked for objective that which organs starts from hyoid bone to trachea. There are 3 confusing points in this portion, that is pharynx, larynx and trachea. First, remember that pharynx is first, larynx is second and then is trachea. Don't confuse in between 3 points. So we had discussed pharynx first, then it is larynx, which is middle portion of this portion starting from hyoid bone to the trachea is larynx, and it is in tabular form. It present in a neck section. Then it has glottis. The glottis is opening of larynx to the end portion of pharynx. The end portion of pharynx is Laryngopharynx, which is end portion of pharynx and from which the larynx is started, and the opening from which the larynx is started is called as glottis. Below the glottis there is epiglottis. It is an organ or membrane which provide entry of food or air in the larynx. That is, the epiglottis protects larynx from damages or any insertion of food in it. While writing the answer of larynx, you should mention that there are key points of the larynx, that it is a voice box, vocal cord starting from hyoid bone to trachea, it is tabular, and it has glottis and epiglottis. So now we are going to study trachea, which is next part of our human respiratory system. Trachea is this portion from which the trachea starts from end point of larynx, and it's linked with the esophagus, and it's get aid by entering in the lungs. So trachea is 10 to 8 centimeter in length. The esophagus, it lies from esophagus to the middle thoracic cavity. I had mentioned before that is this system, either respiration or circulation, lies in the thoracic cavity of human body. So the trachea starts from the esophagus to the middle of the thoracic cavity, and then our major part of respiration and circulation, that is lungs. We can say that lungs is a link between respiration and circulation. The respiration ends at the alveolus, which is last organ of respiratory system, and from which the circulation started, and which includes the major part, that is lungs, which we are going to study further. So our topic is trachea, which is 10 to 12 centimeter in length, which starts from esophagus to the middle thoracic cavity. It has C-shaped 6 to 20 rings of cartilage. It has C-shaped rings of cartilage which prevents the collapse of trachea. If there is no cartilage rings, then the trachea get collapsed and it will stop the passing of air from upper portion to the lower portion. So that's why the C-shaped cartilage are provided to the trachea. And there is also ciliated, pseudostratified epithelium and mucus gland. There is ciliated, pseudostratified and mucus gland are present in the trachea, which prevents the entry of unwanted particle which comes with the air. This pseudostratified ciliated organs prevents the unwanted particle, that we can say that it filters the air while entering in the lungs. So trachea, there are 4 key points while answer writing of a trachea, that its length, its elevation from esophagus to the middle thoracic cavity, it has C-shaped cartilage, and it is ciliated, pseudostratified epithelium mucus gland. These are 4 key points while answer writing of a trachea. Then our next portion is bronchi, which starts after the trachea, and it's give further elevations or extension to the alveolus. Singly it is alveoli, and plurally it is alveolus. Alveoli is the structure of alveoli is like a bunch of grapes. We will be discuss it further. So end point of trachea and starting point of bronchi, it starts here. The bronchi is also having C-shaped but incomplete rings of a cartilage, The incomplete is important. In trachea, there is no complete or incomplete rings. There are just only rings of cartilage, 6 to 20 rings. And in bronchi, there is incomplete rings of cartilage. The bronchi get divided into two parts. One enters in the left lung, one enters in a right lung. So, the bronchi is divided into two parts. Then after bronchi, the bronchi gets divided into primary, secondary, tertiary and the terminal bronchioles. The primary bronchi is divided into secondary, secondary divided into tertiary, and then it divides into bronchioles, and then bronchioles get divided into alveolus, which is structured like bunch of grapes. So this is the respiratory system starting from nostril ending to the alveolus, and it also has diaphragm which helps for contraction and relaxation of the lungs. When we inhale and when we exhale, it contracts and relaxes. So it provides support to the respiratory system, and it gives contraction and relaxation activity to the respiratory system. So this is trachea. This is this portion. At the end, the bronchi get started. Then bronchi get divided into two parts. One enters in the left lung, one enters in the right lung, and then it divided into primary, secondary and tertiary, and then tertiary bronchi is divided into bronchioles, and then bronchioles is divided into alveoli, and then the structure of lungs get started. So we have done with the alveolar structure. Now discuss from starting. We have discussed the respiration, the definition of respiration, that is, it is a biochemical process for oxidation of organic compound for liberation of energy. The energy is formed in 38 molecules of ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. Then we have discussed the respiration in plants. Then we have discussed the respiration in animals, and we have discussed the respiration in humans. This is the parts includes in human respiration, starting from nose to the alveolus. Then next to the alveolus, the structure of lungs started, which is major portion of respiratory system. The nose is include two slits, which is divided by mesenteroid cartilage. Then pharynx, which is this portion starting from nostril to the larynx. The end portion of pharynx is laryngopharynx, from which the larynx is started. Then after larynx, there is trachea, which has C-shaped cartilage. Then bronchi, then bronchioles, and then alveolus, which is a structure like a bunch of grapes. So this is, while answer writing of human respiratory system, you must include these 7 points at a starting, and 7 points at a starting. Above these 7 points, you should include the introduction of human respiratory system. Then you should start with the 7 points, and the main important thing while answer writing is this diagram. If you have not mentioned any theory of whatever I have told you, but you have mentioned the diagram, you will get half marks of your answer writing. So diagram is must while studying the biology. These are 7 points we have discussed in human respiratory system.